Hey guys, welcome to everyone. I'm Nad and this is my channel Rainmaking. So first thing first, the obvious things. I'm not Tesla, not an engineer. I'm just a guy that works half of his life, his days, more often than not, even the weekends, and spend half of his free time online, as pretty much the most of us gets blown away on a daily basis, gets his head filled with gigantic ideas. Most of them is just bullshit. By the way, my name is Nadir. You can call me Nat, like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. I'm alright with that. I'm 38 years old and I'm an immigrant from Italy to Western Australia, and I've been here for 5 years and I'm working my way up and I'm doing all I have. I'm giving all I have. I'm doing all I can. Okay, sorry. And I'm a self-taught English, so teach me. Okay? Thanks. What I'm presenting to you, it's clearly not what I do as a living. As you can see, I'm not a doctor either. Yeah, good guess.
This is what I do every day.
I'm a tradie in building, in construction, and I've been running my business for 20 years now, independently. So more often than not, I'm fully absorbed in my business, in dealing with my customers, creating new designs and blah blah blah. As I said, my head gets filled of many ideas and I'm very trustful toward few authorities out there. YouTube channels that they are doing a great job in debunking all the shit around that there is online. Hope I'm not gonna get caught up in the middle. I'm actually on the same side. I'm very skeptical about everything I do, and everything I do and I try to do it with a scientific method because, as everyone knows, an experiment to be confirmed has to be repeatable. So not only by me, by you all guys. Which make me getting to another point. What's gonna happen if everyone knows how to manipulate the weather? I'm not sure on which side I would stand. I probably would stand on the side of having the weather controlled, but having the people that control the weather controlled by an authority of some sort. But again, as everything else, every big invention in history, for example, the atomic energy, can be used for good, can be used for bad. It's all about human behavior. Anyway, what I was saying is that there is plenty of people out there that they're very authoritative and they're doing great job. Like, for example, Mythbuster, or my favorite overall, it's Captain Disillusion. He's doing an amazing job. I really love it. I'm happy there is people out there like him. Even Robert, a friend of Smarter Every Day. So anyway, all of them. My approach is something skeptical as theirs. What I wanted to say is that although I'm very trustful, I can imagine what's behind their design. In a way, I'm pretty sure, as you are, I'm never totally satisfied. Maybe on one side, because often I would love them to be wrong and prove a myth to be real, but it's never happening. Have you noticed that? And I'm not satisfied with that because, so first, I was relying on some news that I found on the internet or whatever else, media, or a piece of history of a book or whatever, video, whatever. Every time I do that, as everybody, I'm just relying on someone else's source. And then, again, I'm gonna rely on someone else to check on that thing and evaluate it and give his opinion to the thing. As I said, I would love to see them fail, but first thing is no way that's gonna ever happen. And second, I'd say I'd rather try it myself. If the thing is easy enough to be built, to be understood by the laws left behind by the real inventors of these alleged hypothetical devices, so if it's easy to build them, why not give it a try? Because I really want to understand. I believe in many things, but I really like to build my opinion on it. And to do this, I have to build the devices and I have to try them out. Since we're dealing with things that we don't understand, we don't know if they exist or not, we don't know if they're real, the scientific way to approach to this kind of thing is 50% you have to consider the fact that this thing can be real, and 50% you have to keep in consideration that it can just be bullshit. So it's equal to say that to use these devices and to put them on test, you have to take in consideration the fact that could work. So if they are working, well, we are interfering with, in this case, weather. So if we are affecting the weather, we are affecting our environment, even to test a machine, it's not enough excuse to ruin a place. So it has to be tested in accordance to the warning left behind by the inventors. They have to be used in accordance with what your good sense tells you. In many cases, the inventors, they all agree on something. Each of their devices has to be used to influence the environment and the weather in a good way, so to get it more to work as it should. I say it should because it is influenced by pollution, by magnetic pollution, by radiation, by all the Wi-Fi, and you know it better than me, radio waves, whatever. So they have to be used on a good way. This means that to put it on a test and try to see the results, it's a long process, very time demanding. It's a difficult thing to do because how can you tell that the rain coming after I turn on my machine wasn't meant to come? There is no actual way, because after the sun, there is only rain. If it gets cloudy, after clouds, you're gonna have the sun sooner or later. So there is already a 50% of chances that that's gonna work. This is the main reason why I decided to run 100 tests for each of these devices without having you to believe in anything. I'm really trying now. I got a freaking enormous list of tests that I'm running, ginormous. And at the end of these tests, once I am gonna have 100 results, either negative or positive, obviously, both, at that point, I'm gonna calculate the percentage of success and the percentile of it. At that point, probably the whole point of this channel is building up a community of people like-minded, maybe help one another out to try out some stuff, or maybe you suggest me what to build and I'm gonna build it for you, and debunk or approve or agree on the functionality of any of these devices. So the final point would be having me to... I'm sorry, this is very difficult for me. I'm Italian of mother tongue, as you can clearly tell from my accents. What I wanted to say is that at the end of the game, I'm probably gonna have to shoot a video for each device with my conclusions. If any of those conclusions is gonna be an approval, a thumbs up for one of these devices, I hope I'm not gonna get ostracized by peoples and friends and everything I'm doing. It's not on the shade, but there is not so many people there. Yeah, my family knows, and they love to see me running tests, and they always asking me to play around with it, and I'm always saying no because I want to keep it scientific. And I'm laughing when I say scientific because this is a bit midway between the tangible and the religious. I don't know how to put it. Like, for example, in the case of William Reich stated that he was dealing with orgone, and so the chi, the prana, the energy that can cure your body or move mountains. So I'm never really scientific in any way. Scientific thing about me is the method I'm using to analyzing this contraption. But I believe those guys. I don't believe fully, even when I'm seeing results that I pointed out before to run the test. These guys have spent their entire lives studying a subject. There is scam or scammer nowadays too. Actually, the world is full of them now. But I don't believe that back in those years when it was very hard to fit in society, everyone was doing his best to actually fit into. There wasn't the movement of getting out of society. Someone is gonna correct me on this. I like that. We're all learning. So all these guys like Guglielmo Marconi, the inventor of the radio, who actually took it from Tesla, who gave it to Marconi. He didn't install it. Tesla was into frequencies and then transmitting frequencies from one point to the other. Same of Guglielmo Marconi, although Tesla was years forward. Marconi asked him if he had a parallel project that he didn't want to evolve, and Tesla went like, you can have all the low frequencies. Going back to Italy, this is the first of the 19th century. Guglielmo Marconi, he was already an inventor and he was into big stuff himself. When he go back to Italy, he found this funny Italian fella, Pierluigi Ghina. They got on very well. Ghina studied at Marconi's for 10 years or so. They've been together and they developed a lot of good stuff. Then Marconi left Ghina a few diagrams and draws and projects, and Ghina has been developing during the 1950s, 60s and 80s. He died very old. William Reich has been studying with Freud. He was the bloody disciple of Sigmund Freud. All these fellas, I reckon, they had something big going on inside. I'm not sure it was a big scam. I'm more thinking that if they were scammed by themselves. That was their belief. In some way, I want to believe them too. We're going back to the first point. I'm gonna believe myself only. And this is why I'm building all these devices. Soon I'm gonna put other videos online explaining which device I'm trying to build, which I already built, which one is in construction, and which one is on the list. What are the results? What are the innovation? I also mingled few of them like many people on the internet, and I've got hybrids of different devices that were really sounding alike, but they were producing the same era but in two different locations or by two different scientists that they didn't know each other. Soon I'm gonna update my YouTube channel. I'm also working now on the website because I realized that first thing I can't use my business mail to do all this. There's a lot of people contacting me. I hope it's gonna be even more than this, and I'm very willing because I need to reach out for people. I'm quite bored to do it by myself. No, I'm joking. I love it, and but I really like to share with you. And I'm ignorant, and really I can't compare anything of what I'm doing with anybody out there. It's really primitive constructions, but I know my way. One of my strengths is that I can visualize very good in advance the entire thing. So, in a nutshell, I will close this video. Soon, I'm gonna create playlist on my channel with explanation about every one of these inventors, and then I'm gonna create another playlist with every invention I'm gonna tackle of these inventors, and I'm open to suggestion, comment on my videos, and I really need you to give me instruction. I might know more than others, have more experience because I've been into this kind of stuff forever. I even found out a lot of error made by few inventors because of their old age. I'm gonna treat this point in one of the next videos coming in. I'm building a website where I hope you gonna contact me through that chat. And I might even keep a blogish thing there where you can see main answers I'm giving you by email, because most of you guys are asking the same thing, so it's demanding. I can't really copy and paste every time. That's not me answering you. I'd like to cut some corners and have this website online, so it's not gonna take me more than a week. It's gonna be very basic. You just go there, you got the newsletter probably, or that kind of stuff, and we can get in contact. Thank you very much for listening to this. I hope you're gonna like my experiments. Don't get suggested by what I'm doing. I'm not the freaking weather control man. Rainmaking, the channel is called like that because what should I call, rebuild all devices, or couldn't come up with any other name. So that's the channel, Rainmaking. Hope you enjoy this. Please subscribe. I need also the opposition comment. Don't know how to put it, but what I'm doing, guys, I love it. See you soon, guys.